Begin.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I think we shall dispense with all the formalities because I know you would like to hear what Dr. Kakotkar and Dr. Grover have to say. And all that I wish to say is that the idea of having this kind of a panel is primarily to clarify and explain any of the doubts that still exist in the minds of most of you about the Safeguards Agreement and where we stand on this issue. As far as possible, we are trying to keep the politics out of it. The technicalities and the technical aspects, which are reasonably esoteric. I know Siddharth wrote a very good piece today in the Hindu, but I presume there are some people ignorant like me who would like to be sort of informed as to what really the Safeguard Agreement stands for, what it means, what it has meant for us in terms of the effort that we have put in. If there are any side issues which arise from as a result of the discussion, Foreign Secretary and I would then intervene. But I would request that please use your time usefully, if I might say so, because I think it's not often that you get the chief negotiator for the Safeguards Agreement, Dr. Grover, or for that matter, Dr. Kakotkar, to be with us all on the same panel. And let's avoid grandstanding, let's avoid very clever questions, and just try to seek information. We will be as candid as possible. We promise to be as honest, because I think there's a lot that we need to get from the press in trying to explain to the country why the Safeguards Agreement is important from the point of view of the civil nuclear initiative that is being attempted. With this, I would leave the floor open for questions. You can direct the questions primarily to Dr. Kakotkar and Dr. Grover in terms of, as I said, the principal item that we are discussing today, namely the Safeguards Agreement with the IAEA. Dr. Grover, would you do this? Because
you see, this particular agreement is for the civilian nuclear facilities in India, and this has a preamble and has the main text can be broadly divided in three parts. That is general considerations, safeguards procedures, and miscellaneous aspects where we cover various issues related to implementation, finance, visa-related issues, and so on. And as you might have seen from the Safeguards Agreement, that right in the preamble, we have embedded several important concepts. We start with issues like sovereign and inalienable right of India to carry out nuclear research and development activities for the welfare of its people. And we talk about expanding international cooperation on a stable, reliable, and predictable basis. We also have mentioned about the relevance of Indo-US understandings, which are mentioned in quite detail there. And of course, it's about civil nuclear cooperation with all other member states of the agency. If we see safeguards procedures, they are based on the way safeguards are carried out. They follow the relevant guidance document which have been adopted by the Board of Governors for this purpose, and it is embodied in a document called INFCIRC 66. The general conditions, general considerations in the beginning, they stem from specific Indian requirements. This also you might have noticed that general considerations, they are in the initial part where we have basic undertakings, general principles, then items subject to this agreement, declaration, notification, provision of information to the agency. Now, here, these are specific to India, and that is what make it an India-specific agreement. Normally, if we have 66 type of safeguards agreement, they are specific to a facility. To a facility, we have similar agreements with regard to the reactors under construction at Kudankulam. We have safeguards agreement for reactors at Tarapur, TAPS 1 and TAPS 2. But this agreement, though safeguards procedures are based on 66, this is an umbrella agreement, and it will be applicable to all the civilian nuclear facilities in India. To those civilian nuclear facilities which we declare as per Article 13 and subsequently notify as per Article 14. So that way it becomes, all these provisions make it India specific. Then we go to the third safeguard procedures, and the third part where miscellaneous issues are indicated, they include agency inspectors, how to give them visa, physical protection, system of accounting and control, finance, non-compliance, and cooperation, interpretation, and application of agreements and settlement of disputes, and with the definition. This is the general structure. Now, there has been, I can go on, but I think it's better that if you ask questions, this agreement, if I start doing, there will not be any time for you to ask questions.
We'll take it by turn, and please wait for the cordless mic to reach you before you ask your question. Does Parul, do you have a question?
Sir, it's open to any of you who might choose to answer this. I just want to understand the reference to uninterrupted fuel supplies, right, in case the need arises, and why was it necessary to have this reference in the text? Why was it necessary for India to have this mentioned in the text? Secondly, what is it about this agreement that...
On the issue of the legal sanctity of the preamble and whether there's a distinction, there's a 1969 Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties which deals with exactly these questions, and Article 31 of that says that the text includes the preamble and annexes. So when you come to general principles, general rules of interpretation of a treaty, these are actually part of the treaty. In this particular case, it's made even more clear, because you'll see at the end of the preamble it says, now therefore, taking into account the above, India and the agency have agreed, etc. So frankly, this distinction that some people have drawn really doesn't matter. It has no legal effect. There's no legal distinction. Also in the text itself, parts of the preamble are described as essential basis for India's agreement to accepting safeguards on certain facilities.
I think the link between the preamble and the text has been very clearly sort of brought out in, if you read the entire text. And I don't think it was necessary, but we made it doubly sure that nobody could draw any kind of erroneous conclusions about this. So I think the connection between the preamble and the text, even if that may not be necessary, has been very clearly made. I think that's one of the strongest points in the because the entire text flows from, as the Foreign Secretary just now said, taking into account the following, because it stands on that one basic pillar.
Second part, yes. Second part, if we see IAEA has certain templates with regard to going into for safeguards. 66 type template is the one which is meant for those states which have not signed NPT. That's the category to which India belongs to. There has been some reports in the press where they have said that this is an agreement for non-nuclear weapon states. No, that is not the case. 66 template is for non-NPT states. No